The trailer for Sony's upcoming Ghostbusters reboot was published on YouTube on March 3, 2016. 24 hours after it was published, it had racked up almost 8.5 million views, but the ratio between likes and dislikes should worry the studio. In that time frame, it had received a whopping 155,000 dislikes but a mere 89,000 likes. While it's too early to say anything for certain, the tepid response to the presented footage lends at least some level of credibility to the unconfirmed rumors that the production was a deeply troubled one and that the finished movie is an unfunny train wreck. In this video, we'll briefly look back at the development of the movie, the rumors of the film's production trouble, and how this fits into what we can see of the movie's marketing. Amy Pascal, former Sony CEO, had long championed a female-centric Ghostbusters reboot, and on October 8, 2014, Paul Feig of Bridesmaids and Spy fame tweeted that he had signed on as director. Based on the Sony leaked emails, however, it would appear that Feig wasn't completely sold on the movie to begin with, and he agreed to only do it if he could do it his way. After early interest from, among others, Jennifer Lawrence, Emma Stone, and Amy Schumer didn't lead to anything further, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones emerged as the new cast of Ghostbusters. The movie is a remake of the original 1984 Ghostbusters, not a sequel, and in March of 2015 we learned that the movie was intended to be the jumping-off point for a shared Ghostbusters universe leading up to an Avengers-level event. Just before the start of filming, Tom Rothman, who by then had replaced Amy Pascal, cut the budget of the movie by $15 million from the original $169 million that Pascal had allocated to it to $154 million. The movie was filmed in summer of 2015 and is set for release on July 22, 2016. Apart from a few tweeted production stills here and there, the marketing push didn't begin in earnest until the release of the poorly received trailer on March 3rd, just 4 months before the movie was set to open. This would seem like an awfully short marketing campaign for what is arguably one of Sony's biggest tentpole releases of 2016, if not the biggest. But someone warned us this might happen, 1 month before the trailer dropped. On February 4, 2016, an anonymous poster on 4chan claiming insider knowledge warned that the production had been troubled and the finished product is a train wreck. Please note that the following information just comes from one source, an anonymous one at that. All of the following, as such, should be taken with a grain of salt. That being said, we first learned of trouble behind the scenes of Fant4stic and Green Lantern, among others, in exactly the same way, so perhaps this also shouldn't be dismissed outright. The anonymous poster claims that the entire cast signed on because they loved the original and wanted to make something good. Melissa McCarthy specifically signed on because she's a huge fan of the Saturday morning cartoon The Real Ghostbusters, which was spun off from the original movie. However, the script is apparently terrible, which contributed to McCarthy getting into frequent on-set fights with director Paul Feig. This due to her commitment to wanting to make an actually good Ghostbusters film in the spirit of the cartoon series, and instead being saddled with a, quote, lame duck of a script. Furthermore, McCarthy and one of the other actresses involved allegedly had a huge clash of egos on set, so more time was devoted each day to ensuring they both had an equal amount of lines, assistants, and the like to mollify them than was actually spent shooting the film. Kristen Wiig is said to be very unhappy with the film, and apparently spent most of her time between scenes lamenting that she'd gotten involved with this disaster on the phone with friends from her trailer. This led to the entire cast and crew being forced to sign additional NDAs preventing them from discussing any aspects of the production or the final film in anything less than a glowingly positive light, as the studio didn't want a repeat of the Fox debacle, where Fant4stic director Josh Trank publicly denounced the movie on the eve of its premiere, something which we have covered extensively here at Midnight's Edge. Like Josh Trank before him, director Paul Feig also had meltdowns on Twitter, resorting to name-calling and F-bombs. According to the anonymous 4chan poster, these Twitter meltdowns are a result of the very real prospect that this film will at the very least severely damage his career and, depending upon how the movie performs upon release, possibly end it. Furthermore, the studio has employed both lawyers and bribes to strong-arm the original cast members into shooting pickup cameos in the hopes that they can sell the movie on misplaced nostalgia. Also, the studio are becoming gun-shy of playing the feminism/misogyny card for publicity purposes after the terminal underperformance of Warner Bros.' Mad Max Fury Road. The anonymous poster goes on to say that Sony is in full-blown panic mode because they were banking on this movie being a hit that would kickstart a Ghostbusters cinematic universe. Instead, it's likely to kill any viability of that idea for 10 to 20 years. He concludes by claiming the lack of marketing indicates the studio is already trying to minimize their loss on this film. The anonymous poster's comments about the terminal underperformance of Mad Max Fury Road come across as weird, because while that movie did underperform somewhat, it is difficult to argue that the movie was anything but a hit. This despite some backlash over the perception that Mad Max was but a guest star in what some consider to be a Furioso movie. However, given that we are talking about a summer blockbuster coming from marketing powerhouse Sony, the marketing for Ghostbusters has been indeed lacking compared to earlier summer blockbusters. But for all we know, a marketing blitz could be about to begin. One point the anonymous poster made was that the movie would try to capitalize on nostalgia. We don't see any of the cameos in the first trailer, but the title cards in the beginning of the trailer reference the 4 scientists from 30 years ago who saved New York. That is an interesting and telling way to kick off the marketing, as it creates the impression that the movie is a follow-up to it, when in fact the new movie is a complete remake, and none of the events of the original movie ever happened as far as it is concerned. We will keep you up to date as more information becomes available here at Midnight's Edge.
If you liked this video, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all of our upcoming videos. For more podcasts, news, and reviews, check us out at midnightsedge.net and follow us on Twitter at midnightsedge. Also check out our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/midnightsedge.